Are we good, Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, time is now 6 o'clock and we're going to, I'll call this meeting to order for the Tipp City School Districts. We'll start with pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible.
Siri's on.
Good job, Siri.
Good job, Siri. I love it.
Awesome.
All right, Mr. Stevens, will you please call roll?
Mrs. Drum?
Here.
Mr. Maines?
Here.
Mrs. Dillard?
Here.
Mrs. McMurray?
Yeah.
Mr. Thompson? Here. All present accounted for. We can continue this meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, I would take a motion for approval of the agenda. I'll move the by Ms. Dillard,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote.
Dillard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes. Motion passes. Agenda is approved. All right, 2, new business, A, Tipp City, recommend approval of the draft Tipp City EVC online day plans for the 24-25 school year. It is enclosed in a PDF document. I would love a motion to approve.
Motion.
Moved by Mrs. McMurray,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Maines. Discussion.
So this is the, gives us the option after calamity days, we could use these online days for makeup time versus bringing kids back in maybe June or after schools, out towards the end of the year. This gives us an opportunity. We won't use any calamity days this year, a couple last year, but we won't have to, hopefully we don't have to get the 6, 7, and 8 on calamity days before using that. What questions when anybody?
I had a question about kindergarten through second, since they don't have Chromebooks.
We'll supply information to them. It will be online for them to do. We'll work with them. If we know about it ahead of time, we can send some stuff on if needed, but they'll have time to work as well.
I figured they probably had those backpack things.
Blizzard Ag.
Blizzard bags.
This is kind of replacing those. This language is taking care of those things.
Thank you.
Just humor me, maybe it's in my ignorance, I haven't learned this yet. What is it that triggers a calamity day? Like under what circumstance would we consider going to this?
Let's say we've had a bad storm. And I've called off days for ice or weather related. So we used our we have 5 days kind of built into our contract that we have. And then days 6, 7, and 8, we could use these remote learning. So let's say it's March and a ice storm comes in. We may be down for a while. Well, I'd rather have kids doing something than nothing. We would try to get them going and working on these things versus just not having school and then adding days on if we needed to in June, or end of May, June. And pretty important they're learning during, before testing and during the school year. And the TCA has signed off on this as well, which is a requirement of it as well.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote.
McMurray?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, next is the approval to employ the following individuals for the athletic service for the 24-25 school year as athletic game workers. The list is included in the agenda. I'm not going to read all of those names, but I just want to say thank you for doing this, guys. There is. Which one?
I think it should be Daniel Millat instead of Danielle Millat.
I believe you're correct.
Okay.
Make the motion to approve.
Mr. Maines makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Millard. And then Mrs. McCray will make a note of that. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote.
Maines,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes,
Drum.
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay. Moving on, C is resignations. A motion for approval of the following resignations. It's listed under public content, certified staff, classified staff, and supplemental staff.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Thompson, seconded by Ms. McMurray. Is there any discussion?
I just want to thank them for their service. I know that Mrs. Brown, the art teacher at the middle school, Mike Layton got an award last year, project he did in her. So I appreciate her taking him outside of his comfort zone, and that was pretty cool to go down to Dayton, artwork with.
Awesome. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Apologize, the system's being a little weird.
You're all right. I
There we
thought you did great.
Thompson,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes,
Maines,
Yes.
Dillard.
motion passes. Next would be, item D is new hires for 24-25 school year. A motion for approval to employ the following for the 24-25 school year, pending proper certification and paperwork completed. We have, in public content, certified staff members as well as classified staff members.
I'll make the motion to approve and employ the following certified and classified staff.
By Ms. Dillard, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Is there any discussion?
Welcome.
Okay, welcome to the district. Thank you for teaching our students. All right, go ahead and vote.
Dillard,
Yes,
Maines,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes,
McMurray,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
motion passes. Next is the supplemental positions. Love a motion to approve to employ the following supplemental positions for the 24-25 school year, pending proper certification and paperwork. Supplemental staff are listed below in public content.
Motion.
By Mrs. McCray,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion?
just thank you for all those volunteers. Wow, very nice.
All right, we'll go ahead and vote.
McMurray,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes.
Maines,
Yes.
Dillard.
Yes,
All right, motion passes. F is supplemental changes. A motion to approve the supplemental changes for the 24-25 school year
I'll make the motion.
by Mr. Maines. Second by Mrs. Dillard. Any discussion? So I have a question. So I see that they're changing like 0.5 to like a 1. So is that considered like they're moving from a half year to like a full year?
Or they could be splitting the position between
Okay.
two.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that I
These
couldn't remember
coaches
what
are
it was.
splitting a position.
And now we're making it.
Now that we had the couple resignations, they're filling those positions.
Got it. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. Any other discussion?
Who was the first and second on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Maines and then seconded by Mrs. Dillard.
Thank you.
When you're ready, we'll take a vote.
First football game, August 23rd.
But
Girls golf is like awesome.
They're on fire.
they're on fire.
Olympia's not.
I was just
Side
saying
note.
with the football coach, I was
Side
like,
note.
oh my gosh, it's like, it's here.
Soccer is starting too. Their first game's the 17th. Sorry.
No, all right. For the vote, Maines,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Drum.
Yeah.
McMurray,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Okay, so 3 is discussion items. So this is for information discussion purposes, school safety and the mental health programming. So I'm gonna move the floor to Mr. Moran.
So this is kind of a reminder. So school safety, we have 2 SROs at high school and middle school. And then Officer Rittenhouse will be retiring here in September 6th from the force. And he's going to be with us beginning with the transition to Broadway Elementary and LT Ball, different grade levels. But he'll be finished on the 6th of September. So we will have, Officer Edmondson will be able to go to LT Ball, and if we need something, one of those SRs can go to Broadway if needed for anything. But hopefully that's not the case at the elementary schools. They need the extra assistance there. But these funds, we do use some of our, it's called DPIA grant funds, Disadvantaged Pupil Impact Aid funds. So we do use some of those that are specified as an allowable expense, a grant that we can use for that. So again, we do want to make sure school safety is a priority for us. We go down to 2 buildings with the high school and the PK8. We'll keep the 2 SROs as the plan. So we'll have full-time people. We will expect to continue to have those services, and that's a priority for us, I think, as well. On the mental health programming, again, you have student wellness dollars that the state gives us. And one of those allowable expenditures are for mental health counseling and school counseling. And we put all our monies that we get, it's roughly about 250.
Well, this year it's 200. Last year I think it was 290. This year it's 275.
Is going to go to pay for the mental health counseling that we have. We have Catalyst at high school and the middle school, and then we have Miami County ESC
Vicky Casey.
at the elementary schools that she runs between both elementary schools. So we use those funds to pay for her, and anything left over we pay for our counselor. So again, this year we'll have a full-time counselor at Broadway, full-time counselor at LT Ball, 2 full-time counselors at the middle school, and 3 full-time counselors at the high school as well. So we do have a lot of resources, dollars that go to those needs of students as well. But it just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that, where those grant dollars, EPIA grant dollars is not a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's 10,000.
10,000 or less. And our SRO expenses were 172. So DPIA goes away like that.
But with those expenses too, that SRO, that safety, that also includes like them coming to the high schools and stuff like that for games and things like that too, right? Is that
No.
That's a
Okay.
contract that we just approved in July.
Okay,
That was for that. So that's on, depending on the number of events we have and things like that. But we don't use it as much as we did in the past. That was one of the expenses that we didn't we didn't have as much
Yeah,
last school year because
2 years
we had an SR.
Compared to 2 years ago.
2 years ago, we had a purchase order for about $26,000 to pay for those services, and we didn't have to touch that this year. Now, that's for building security.
Right.
We still have the game security, which we did pay for last year, but not out of the general fund, that was out of the athletic fund.
Yeah.
Because we had the police presence in the SROs at the middle school and high school, we didn't have any extra payments, yes.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, thank you.
So, one of the things that we received in our emails this past week was from the e-school news perspective, and they were talking about the mental health issue.
Yeah.
The use of cell phones and technology. So I think we're going to be discussing that very shortly too, correct?
Yeah, we have some dates lined up with parents and community to get the input. We talked about that at the last work session.
Yeah.
We went through the Ohio model policy that the Department of Education, Department of Education and Workforce put out that Ohio do, and we're going to get some input. I think the board can make a decision at any time. We have to do it. The board has to make make sure there's a policy in place before July 2025. However, it can be done at any time. But we need to talk with kids and families before making that decision.
It was a great article.
Question. Officer Dan has been such a staple in the district for so long, and he's so beloved. What will happen with the DARE program moving forward?
That is gone.
Okay.
I don't believe that's funded anymore.
Okay. So all of those initiatives that he did with the kids, those are gone for right now.
It may just be done in a different.
Done in a different way. Yeah. It's such a rapport in every building with all those kids.
But I think that
So-
the DARE program itself changed, correct? Or did I get that wrong?
It changed. I know it changed, but
Yeah, I don't think it's funded anymore.
Right.
That's why.
I just can't believe September 6th. He's been a staple here for many, many years. So I had his daughter Megan in class, and I know my boys will miss him dearly.
Any other questions of mental health or the school safety?
I think it's great that we have Catalyst there. They've been a really great resource. So I've spoken with Crystal, and they've been a great resource for the students and parents. Just don't have a manual completely of how to get my kids to the finish line. So.
They also provide support to the teaching staff too, right? Staff.
They'll provide support to anybody that's needed.
Great.
The school safety, is the amount of officers that you have in any given building determined by the population of that building, or is it more determined by the funding that's provided to?
We base it on where we think the height, the needs are. You know, I think the needs of the middle school and high school safety and security is a little higher right now. Some of the things that we've been getting in the past, that was priority. So,
I asked that just because you said that K through 8 in that building, you said there'd be 2 there.
we'd be one there. We still keep the two, one in each building still. We'd have both buildings covered. I don't think we need 2 at that one building.
And there was talk of providing funding for SROs through the state foundation, but there is nothing that is specifically stated on our foundation revenues that, hey, you're getting this much for SROs. And I believe that the amount that they thought they were going to give, which again, I'm not even quite sure what it is because it's not specified like it was originally going to be. So we are definitely spending more with our SROs than what the state ever thought they were going to provide to us. And again, I don't even know what we're supposed to be getting, if anything now. It's just been buried. And, but we mentioned some DPIA funding, and that's less than $10,000 for our 170, I think this year it's 175,000 contract for those two officers, so.
I think that the things that we've talked about with the facilities, with the updates at the high school, and obviously the new building, I mean, being proactive with how people enter the buildings. I think that's, all of those things. An SRO is a level of safety that is great that we are able to provide that. But I think those other being proactive with, entering the building and how that's done, the exterior doors, windows, we've talked about different ideas about that. So I think all of that, is a whole package for the safety. I think the kids, I worked in a trailer. I taught in a trailer, and there are, that to me was always nerve-wracking with kids leaving the building and then going to the trailer and back and forth. And so,
It's a whole other safety issue.
right.
So, we're lucky we don't have
And
Yeah.
we do have the camera systems, and Thomas, we have the camera systems that are Halo detection systems. They'll be ready to go at the beginning of the school year.
Awesome.
So inside and outside buildings will have coverage.
Great.
It's taken us a while, but that grant that was
Yeah.
received.
Just making sure lights in the parking lots are, functional and working and on the correct timers and, all of those things.
And then I just wanted to mention, August 27th, I believe, is that cell phone policy meeting for the community. So I want to present that out there too, so that way people know. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. at the high school. That's why I was looking right.
I think there's 2 days.
There might be a second one, but
Yeah.
that's the first one I found. So I just wanted to put that out there. Is there another one off the top of your head,
Yeah,
Because I was searching through the calendar on my phone, but
I think it's earlier.
it's August 27th from 7 to 8 p.m. is the cell phone community meeting policy discussion.
They're about then. I had them.
And then I'm not sure when the other one is.
They're on the weekly update.
Yeah,
Yes, which we'll talk more about those later.
yeah.
But just to throw that out there, so anybody watching, tell a buddy. Oh,
No,
no, it's at the high school.
first one's at the high school.
Oh, okay. The one I marked.
The
was-
one you marked.
Sorry.
At here.
That's the one I marked.
And there's coffee with the superintendent coming up too, but I don't remember what day that is. Someday this week? Yes? 9th? Yes. 2 days, on the 8th. Okay. So I have a coffee. Be fine. Okay. Any other discussion on the school safety and mental health programming? Okay. Next is discussion about owner representation on the construction project. Mr. Moran?
So we've briefly talked about it before, but now we have the OFCC with the state commission on the 19th will finalize
The controlling.
the controlling board, will finalize their commitment to the co-funded assistance program. And things are going to start rolling. RFQs are supposed to go out on the middle of the month. We're going to start selecting, the short list in beginning of September. Things are going to start moving along there, getting a architect, engineer, and the construction manager at risk. So into that, one of the things that we briefly touched on is the owner representation, that somebody that we can hire to be solely working on that project. It's a $108 million project that needs to get done. We want to make sure it's done well. And why I expect to be involved in it heavily, and Kim Hagan will be involved in it heavily. That's not the only job either. That needs to be done at the school. And having somebody that's there to deal with it, even dealing with the LT ball renovations are not, it's money, a lot of money, but it's not $108 million. The idea of all the things that come up and how it may impact and trying to work around. They're calling me, they're calling Kim, we're trying to figure things out. Well, we may not be always there to be on the phone because we're doing some other things. We're dealing with other issues and other priorities that we have as well with the district. So I would really like to see what's out there for owner rep that could really be looking out for our interest as a school district and making sure that we get what we pay for. Somebody that knows some construction, knows some school, in order to, I'm not construction. You know, I might know what tools are, I might know some things, but I'm not gonna know everything or come close to it. But having somebody that has that can work with the construction man, work with the architect, work with the subcontractors, just for the logistics of, I've been on a project where, we had to shut down water to the building. Well, there's utilities that are going on here. What happens if we have to shut down something or we have to reroute stuff? Well, if I can't be at that meeting or somebody can't be at that meeting and it's, hey, we're going to shut down the water or shut down the gas or electric so we can make this, make it work. Well, how do we make sure that the school is involved to say, no, you can't do that. We need somebody that's at the table, guaranteed, that has that spot there all the time. This would be something that we would use to pay for. We would use our interest monies that we're receiving on the bond to pay for this, so it wouldn't come out of general funds. Look at this as kind of being, I think sometimes you scrape, be penny wise and pound foolish. I don't want to have a good building for a couple years. I want to have a great building for 40, 50 years. So making sure that we invest and get what we need, and getting what we paid for to the highest level before we sign off on anything, I think would be important for us to look into. And I would like to kind of start looking at getting together a owner rep job description, post it out, and just see if it's, see if we get any interest and see what, I know there's people out there, there's construction companies that do that. There are some individuals that have actually reached out that I've touched bases with that they know people that could do it. The construction company said, hey, there's some people that could do it. We'd like to put you in touch with them. But just to see what we'd be comfortable in getting them. And I don't know the cost of what that is, but again, sometimes you get what you pay for too. And we want to make sure we're getting somebody high quality. So I'm putting it out there just to get your thoughts, and then, I don't think we need a motion to move forward because we're not going to enter in a contract until obviously I bring it forward.
We, at the Miami Valley CTC, we had the same situation. And Dr. Weldy had told me, he said, you should consider doing this. And he had the gentleman's name that oversaw the project, and he saved thousands of dollars. And I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars. So I don't know if you spoke with Dr. Weldy lately, but maybe I'd suggest that you got a hold of him and he can give you a real good recommendation on that. Or I can dig in and find out.
Yeah, I can reach out to him.
He was so glad they did it. And we're pretty much done with that construction project, and it turned out awesome.
Especially for job description, potentially
Yes.
posting, you might
Yeah.
not have to reinvent the wheel.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is this a full-time position? Does someone take, did they take it on?
It'd be a full
That's what I
time.
would think. It would have to
For
be
three, it'd be probably a 3-year contract.
3-year, yeah.
Just to make sure that we manage the whole project.
Yeah.
Long-term.
In my opinion, this was
That's
going to be optional.
Well, right.
I mean, this is a must because, to Rick's point, it doesn't matter what their salary is if they're good at what they do. There could be a single change order if you didn't have somebody working on a project like this and having eyes on it all the time. There could be a single change order that exceeds the value of their entire salary for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost an insurance policy against anything like that happening. And it's also an investment in making sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. And I would agree. I think it should be somebody community minded personally,
Yeah.
somebody who's invested in Tipp.
Agree.
If we have to go outside of that, that would be understandable. But if we had the option of somebody within Tipp who maybe came up through the system, has kids in the system, has kids who maybe graduated through it, who really loves it and is going to put their heart and soul into it. That would be preferable. And somebody who can commit to that 3 years, because it'll be more than a full-time job.
Yeah.
We might pay them full-time, but they're going to earn well.
So they wouldn't necessarily be like connected with the company. No, they would be totally separate.
Yeah.
I really do like that.
They would be
having that-
hired for us.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would just say on the side note, as soon as this got presented, I started contacting like different schools and projects that they had done, and everyone I talked to said that they had somebody who did this in every project that they had done at school or in their community for police departments, things like that. So I think it's a really, it looks at both sides of it, right? Like it looks at community and, pays attention to what works there. And then it also looks at what's best for our students. So it covers both ends of that spectrum, making sure that we spend our money wisely. So I like the idea.
I'll gather some job descriptions and, again, like to get it posted. I think depending who it is, they might have obviously information on architects and or construction managers, good and bad things that help us make sure we're making good selections too. But OFCC does not require it. They don't co-fund it or anything like that. That's okay. I just think it's we want somebody that's looking out for our best interest. Not that the architect and the CMR aren't. It's different. It's yours.
Do you have like a general timeline in mind of when you kind of want, because I know that we're looking at, mid-August is the.
I would look at having it shortly to put out, and we probably wouldn't do anything until later at the end of this month.
Okay.
Interviews maybe or.
Okay, so hopefully something in place by maybe second week of September,
Yeah.
end of September is the goal.
Is that a description in place or trying to have somebody hired by then?
I want to have the description here soon. And then we could put it out. Post it just to see if there's interest and see how much it costs. Get an idea about those things. And then I think maybe on the 20th, even just
That's it again.
discuss it again and
Okay.
see where we're at.
I want somebody who, again, has a vested interest in the
Mhm.
community. I mean, this is a 3-year commitment, so, I don't wanna have to have someone for a year and then another person and another person. I want to make sure it's somebody who's committed for the long term.
Yeah, the value in that is when you start a project of this nature,
Right.
if you switch halfway through
Exactly.
something like this, there's so much to catch up on.
Yeah.
There's so much context you don't have. You have to explain so many different reasons why certain choices were made instead of others, and it would be a massive headache.
And perhaps the other districts that you've gathered information can provide a potential cost so that we can.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
And knowing the construction side, but also knowing the school side. Schools are a little different.
Mhm.
So having some knowledge of both of those areas. Just knowing schools but not knowing construction. That doesn't meet the whole picture.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It won't be cheap, but it's
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
not gonna be, it's not an entry level job. for all of you. Have somebody do this at this level.
Yeah, but like you said, long term of it though.
No, I know. It's-
$1 million
it's taking
project.
it.
Yeah.
It almost, I'm not saying this recklessly, it almost doesn't matter what somebody who's good at this would charge you,
Mhm.
it's worth everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to be financially responsible, but I've just seen too many nightmare scenarios in the construction.
Oh, yeah,
world
you
where
hear about it all the time.
You cost yourself way more
Yeah,
money
way more money.
than if you would have just invested on them. So,
Remember, I worked at the district. Right
that's
after it
what
was
we're trying to
finished.
avoid.
We're trying to avoid that.
Not have
We're trying to.
The more-
Even little
It
details
was
make
the
a
mortar.
huge difference.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I was in a brand new building and, who designed that walk in the office that you see the restroom for the staff right from the front counter? That makes no sense at all to me. I mean, So some little details like
Yeah.
that make a difference.
They do.
And it's, I mean, we're talking about big details, safety of the kids.
Yeah.
Parking,
plumbing,
the
electrical.
drop off, those are
Networking.
big things
Those are
that,
huge things.
yeah, that are
Well, even beyond
impact the
that.
entire community.
Planning for
I've
the
seen
future.
sites before where, a representative or a project manager who's very involved came on site after the foundation was poured and the threaded bolts were there for steel plates to come down on top of. Who knows how much steel we're gonna have in this building? The bolts were off by like an eighth of an inch. And had he not been there and caught that, the steel would have come in, it would have been fabricated wrong. I mean, it's a domino effect at a
Yeah,
certain
one
point. So,
thing wrong, yeah.
and that's just one little thing. There's a million things in this size of a building that could be that way. So it's gonna,
Well, no pressure or anything, but we're putting a call out for,
Somebody get kicked on that headache.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome. Well, cool. So, okay,
And the
kind
only,
of a timeline.
the other thing I would, Miss Katie Weaver, who is our high school principal, is here. I just wanted to make sure she introduced herself to everybody. She's been working quite a bit to get some things in place, to get ready for the school year. She's gonna do a great job.
Do my best. Thank you for the welcome. Everybody's been very welcoming and very kind, and it's the first high school I've ever been at where the teachers are here all summer.
Yeah.
And so that really says something about their work ethic, their, commitment to what they want to do. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
welcome.
Welcome. We're
Welcome
excited.
back to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Next item of business is to adjourn to executive session. So I'd love for a motion to adjourn to executive session for purposes authorized under Board of Education Policy 0166 and ORC 121.22G1 to consider the employment of a public employee or official. Official action may follow the executive session.
Make a motion.
Moved by Mr. Thompson. For a second.
I'll second.
Dillard. Any discussion? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote.
Thompson,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes,
Maines,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes.
motion passes. The time is Okay, the time is now 7:23 and we're back from executive session. No action will be taken. All right, so miscellaneous items of discussion. So first is A, which is LT Ball Intermediate School construction update. So I did ask Mr. Moran if he would kind of give us an update as to what's going on with all the construction over at LT Ball. So
I sent pictures out last week and I was over there again today. They've got painting going on and they're doing tile and carpeting. It's following up. They're doing tile in a couple of different areas late this morning. So I think everything's still on track for completion on Friday. They've been working hard. It's been a good company. True United's been a good person, good people to work with. Been flexible, but it's going to look good. We've had it. You go there, remember on where the lockers were, there was like this green, it was like a greenish wall behind it. That's all been painted white. So everything's going to be painted. It's going to look a whole lot better, period, when it's all done in that area. So there's not going to be a big mismatch of colors. But everything's still set. We've had, again, communication back and forth. So we'll be excited when the end of the week comes and people start getting in there and be putting up stuff and everything's going to work out.
perfect. Okay, and then a reminder of school schedule updates. So I just added this because I just want to remind people of start times, things like that. So as a reminder, in case you did not read your newsletter yet, the high school will open, the office opens at 7, students can enter the building at 7:10, classes will start at 7:45, classes will end at 2:45. The Tipp middle school offices will open at 7. Students can enter the building at 7:25. Classes start at 7:50. Classes will end for the day at 2:50. LT Ball, that'll be 3rd through 5th grade this year, will be 8 a.m. offices open. 8:40 students can enter the building. 8:55 classes can start and school will be over at 3:25. At Broadway will be K through 2. Offices open at 8 a.m. Students can enter the building at 8:45. Classes start at 9 a.m. with classes ending at 3:30. On Fridays, we have the 2-hour late arrival every other Friday. The office will still open at 7 for both the middle school and high school. They can enter the area at 9:25, designated area in the school. High school will start at 9:45, middle school at 9:50, ending at 2:45 for the high school, ending at the middle school at 2:50. Okay, in case you did not read your newsletter. And then, Mr. Moran, would you like to talk about the weekly update?
So we've sent out the weekly update now the last couple of weeks. And again, I'll add my mine or Liz or both of our email addresses. We send out a weekly update of upcoming events, things that have happened in the district. If you'd like to receive them, you can email myself or Ms. Robbins, get you on that weekly update. A lot of information going out already with the start of school coming up. But yeah, just contact us here at the school if you'd like to get on that email distribution list. We'd be happy to add more people to it.
I know all of the principals have been sending out updates starting last week.
Yes.
And so I've received the middle and the high school updates already. And I think we got an additional follow-up that just had dates to remember.
Yes.
So I feel that there's been, as a parent, you know, from the outside with my kiddos, I feel like there's been a lot of communication already so far this year. So you've got the younger, so
Yeah,
what about you guys?
have you received?
You have to ask my wife.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, check your spam folders, folks.
Right.
I've had 3 people that said they didn't get it. I asked them to check their spam and it was in their spam. So check those 2 and make sure you didn't already receive emails and you were unaware of it. All right, next, upcoming meetings. The next regular Board of Education meeting will occur on August 20th at LT Ball Intermediate School, beginning at 6 p.m. The next work session meeting will occur on September 3rd at the Board of Education office, beginning at 6 p.m.
And just a clarification question. So LT, we'll be back in the cafeteria then
Yes.
I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
If I don't go before then. Yeah, but- All right, at this time, I would love a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
By Mr. Mays, is there a second?
I'll take it.
Second by Mrs. McMurray. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Mings,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes. The time is now 7:28 and this meeting is adjourned. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.